Hello and welcome back to another Earth2 update. We have been silent over the greater part of the last week or two simply because we've had a touch of the flu. We are on the rebound now and ready to get back to work. Kind of like the Essence token is doing, this is Earth2 on the know, and let's get into it. So the Essence token does seem to be on an upward projectile. This is being mirrored by the excitement from other players as well, as new token holders are looking to increase their position. We're going to get into this and more in today's update video, but first we want to thank all of our return viewers. You guys are the best, and we are so grateful for the support from all of you. We also want to welcome anyone who may be viewing the channel for the very first time. While we have your attention, somewhere in tonight's video are instructions on a new contest happening, so stick around for that. As we all know in the community, there's been some issues with the fiat withdrawal side of things for a few months now. So listen, as I'm editing this video, there is breaking news in this story. We're going to get into that in the next video, but Shane does have a solution. We're going to go ahead and read out the rest of the script just because I wrote it. Shane did address this recently in Discord, and we just want to put a reminder of what he said into this video. But just so you know, it has been resolved live while I'm recording this video. So per Shane, he says, we should be able to provide an update by the end of this week, if not early next week. There has been some promising progress in one area, but as promised, I said we would also work on contingency plans, even if temporary. As we understand how important these withdrawals are to the players, but they are also incredibly important to us as well. He goes on to say that sometimes things like this happen. As I've mentioned a number of times, Web3 is still very young, and many fiat systems, the banks, they don't want anything to do with it. Then you have the government come in with new regulations. I'd like to think it's all for good for the long term, but whatever we have thrown at us, or whatever comes out of left field, we want to do everything we can to provide solutions for our players, looking at every option within the framework we have, and that is exactly what we've been doing over the past few weeks. So that is absolutely some great news that we can be looking forward to in the not so distant future. That was made about a week ago, so we should see something in the beginning of next week for an update. Also, there was mention of the invites coming out for those who are lucky enough to be given the golden ticket and get to test the pre-alpha. We know that if chosen, we would truly feel like Charlie when he went to the chocolate factory. There are some other exciting things happening as well, such as the second energy being released next week for yellow energy upgrades. Many creators who have put out content to spread the word about E2 have been rewarded with this energy to be able to utilize when upgrading properties. So a big congrats going out to everyone who will be utilizing this new energy. So what's been happening in current in-game marketing trends? Let's take a look. Well, to be honest, there's a lot of sideways trading going on as we're seeing either massive gains or losses. There does seem to be something to be said about the community keeping a consistent price line established inside of the market. That said, we are still facing market values of half of their all-time high, with Sidroids selling for below the 50 cent USD price point. We are seeing the basic and same numbers as far as the floor bottom for the resource droids, as a result of many users just do not have the same demand for them that they once did. Common jewels are following the same trend they have been for several months, staying in the 7 or 8 cent range, while the mixed tier 3s have been seeing a steady price range consistency of about $1.45 USD, give or take a few cents. Civilians are seeing a small percentage decline in value at the moment, but not enough to make a significant impact on the market. At the moment, we are inching our way closer to the start of the close on the cap of being able to create the first 3 born civilians. When last checked, on the morning of 7/20/24, we as a community have created 425,190 raid commanders, leaving just over 74,000 per spawn. There have been 428,786 Ether Reckoners birthed, leaving somewhere in the area of just over 71,000 for future users. And lastly, we have as a whole created 439,888 Sidroid techs, for a remainder of barely over 60,000 left to create. Now I'm sure that's changed because it's now Sunday that I'm doing this recording, but that's what it was on Saturday. This may or may not affect the price of these assets in the near future. However, the long-term growth of the value of sieves will likely rise due to the demand once mass adoption takes place and they're no longer able to be produced. So what's going on in the world when it comes to Tier 3 releases? We're going to get into that next. First, however, we want to bring special attention to a nice little bit of information a few users in Discord were able to collab to bring to the entire community. Discord users Wool and Special Places did a collab to come up with this amazing chart. It clearly shows a decline in requested withdrawals and, as a direct result, a lower selling pressure. So how does this correlate with the recent chart movement? We're going to get into that and more coming up, but first we want to announce this week's contest. We are going to go ahead and give away another Dragon's Claw Ember limited edition skin to one lucky winner this week. All you have to do to enter is to simply be a subscriber, like and comment on this video, and let us know what you would do if you were picked to be a pre-alpha tester. And that's it. It's just that easy. So in our last update, Essence token sat around 8 cents. That was per token USD. Currently, we are trading at 9 cents, but a few days ago, we were at 10 cents. Leading us to believe that the effect of seller pressure reducing is being realized. Granted, we have to allocate some of the token's growth and price to the fact that it is paired with ETH, and ETH has seen a little nice upward price action over the last few weeks. However, let's take a look at what's happened over the last 24 hours. So, as of production time, Essence in the last 24 hours has seen around 19.26 thousand in volume. It's holding 403,000 in liquidity, and it's around 6 weeks old and has 1.99 thousand holders. In the last 24 hours, there have only been 21 transactions, with 11 of them being sells and 10 of them being buys. At the time of production, Essence is currently trading at 0.09278 for a 24-hour loss of only 0.15%. So when people ask you what's going on with Essence, you tell them it's acting as a stablecoin. There's very limited amount of volatility, and although it's down, it is following current market trends, and we are going to be just fine. So we are in fact seeing a bit of a correction, like I said, after a nice little run up that once again woke up a few first-time sellers who of course wanted to drop their bags. Now that we've covered the market conditions, let's go ahead and talk Tier 3 territories. This weekend we had a major Tier 3 release with Quebec, Canada, which actually did really well, and we saw a 15 cent USD price settling after the massive buy-up of this popular area. Prior to that, we saw the location for Michael Aricia, which barely broke the 10 cent USD mark with a current price of 0.105 USD, or right around 11 cents. We also saw Shanghai, China open, which is doing pretty amazing with a current trading price of 0.214 cents a tile of Tier 3. Now, our next one to open in just over a few days is the Port of Spain, and that's going to be in Trinidad and Tobago. At the landing spot, we get copious oil and sparse iron ore, and there's already some development along this coastline. Currently, to get it to a Tier 2, you're looking at a T2 price of 0.352 USD worth of Essence token in order to mine resources and launch side droids from your recently purchased T3 property. So hopefully if you do take part in the next Tier 3 release, that information will point you in the right direction. Once again, we want to thank everybody for giving us a little time to heal and get better. This was not a good time over the last 2 weeks. We have had a great time reconnecting with you all and cannot wait to bring more updates your way. If this is your first time seeing a video from E2ITK, we would like to invite you to be a subscriber and also promise you that normally our voice sounds a lot better than this. Not only do we do constant updates about the project and the market conditions that come along with it, we also do weekly giveaways and constantly do our best to counter the flawed arguments of those who are still giving bad press to the project. Please remember that every like, comment, and share, it does push us up in the algorithm, and that in return helps us to share the honest and accurate E2 news with the rest of the world. As fellow human beings, we love you all and encourage you to remember that consuming and spreading negative energy is easy. True character comes from those who smile in the face of adverse conditions and continue to build. It is sadly that time, though, where we must say goodbye for now for this video, but as you know, never for very long. And as always, we cannot wait to see you in the Earth 2 metaverse. Be kind to one another, life is short.